It is time for today's Focus now on France 24. Today on Focus, we're back in Rio, a city that was so much in the news in the first half of the year as we led up to the Olympic Games. 3 months after the last athletes packed up and went home, our team went to see what the much-trumpeted Olympic legacy has left behind. As Nicolas Ronson and John Dillamore found out, the state's empty coffers have left Rio residents feeling like they're on the brink of chaos. Here's their report.
After 10 days sleeping rough, this man has reached his limit. George Luis is a 42-year-old caretaker. The company he works for provides services for Rio de Janeiro's government. But with state coffers empty, he hasn't been paid for 5 months. And on top of his financial worries, his marriage is also over. Thanks to a show of solidarity, he now has a roof over his head. Stories like this have become more common since the end of the Olympic Games.
A good deal of it was just short-term, because at the time, yes, the Olympics generated jobs, but now thousands are unemployed. And more people in need are living on the streets. A lot of people have lost their reason to live. Why? Are the Olympics a good thing? Yes, they're good, but Brazil and Rio in particular weren't prepared to host an event like this.
From protests to blockades, frustration is spilling over onto the streets. These 300 construction workers are also waiting for overdue salaries, which haven't been paid since June. As their desperation grows, union members are doing their best to provide support.
Não é só vocês que estão vivenciando isso. Outros trabalhadores no município do Rio de Janeiro também estão com problemas. Estão com problema nas obras da prefeitura, estão com problema de obras que é do governo do estado. O que a gente está vivendo hoje é uma vergonha.
What we're going through now is shameful for all of us.
Trabalhador, muitos trabalhadores aí, infelizmente.
We pay our taxes, we have families, we work. More and more of us are unemployed. And the Rio government owes 200 million euros to companies that worked for the Games.
Aos empleiteiros hoje que prestaram e prestam serviço para eles.
From health to education and transport, Rio's public services are crumbling, and it's the city's poorest who are feeling the impact. The Complexo do Alemán is Rio's biggest slum. It's home to David Tavares and his 71-year-old mother, Jupira, who's suffering from glaucoma. She can no longer travel to the hospital where she's been treated for the disease and has just lost sight in her left eye.
I can't see through this eye, only the other.
5 years after it opened, the cable car built to connect these slums to the rest of the city has stopped working. The operator says it hasn't been paid since April and is now owed €5 million, all of which has left Jupira stuck at home, unable to pay the €20 taxi fare to the hospital, and Davi can't afford to help. He's also unemployed.
They did a lot of work, a lot of things, but all for nothing. And the worst thing is that since they closed the cable car, they haven't even provided a vehicle for the elderly so they can go and see the doctor down there. There's nothing, not even a car to drop them off and bring them back. They can't even do that.
For years, this economist and sports specialist has been trying to sound the alarm. He says it was naive to think that hosting major sporting events would help lift Rio de Janeiro out of its economic crisis.
If you don't believe in production, if you don't invest in sectors such as tourism, which rely on good transport and communications infrastructure, in putting an end to violence and ensuring complete security for residents and international visitors, you reap what you sow. And that means economic paralysis, the state going broke and a public calamity.
It's a situation that also worries Jefferson Teixeira. After working on the construction of the Olympic Park, now he's also unemployed.
It's very sad for me to see this. Everything was built in a short time. They made everything look good for foreigners. People from the outside benefited. We sweated our guts out here, but now the games have come and gone, and I'm unemployed without any prospects. The state government's broke. and everything's getting worse.
Seu objetivo, o Estado falido, vendo isso tudo se acabar.
Rio's government has announced a raft of austerity measures, including tax hikes, and says it can balance the books by 2022. But for Jupira, Jorge Luis, Davi and Jefferson, the Olympic dream has become a nightmare. Their city welcomed the world for the globe's biggest sporting event, but now they're on their own.